Have an exceptional match coming your way. And like you just heard in the chant, Spacestation Gaming taking the stage once again. Many series under their belts now, many maps under their belts, and many maps won, Tony. SSG looking primed and ready to go. Shopify Rebellion, their heads are going to be down just a touch, but they managed to get maps under their belt. How are you feeling about this matchup?
Yeah, I know they're probably not happy with the results of what happened against Optic Gaming, but taking them to a Game 5 being as competitive as they were is a really good sign for Shopify Rebellion. We already know that they can beat some of the big three. They can beat some of the best teams that we have in our league, but the question was, can they take games and look good on Championship Sunday? They look good. Now it's time to get over that hump. Now it's time to get a series win here on Sunday.
Well, I got some good news for Shopify fans. One, no King of the Hill, which is absolutely, not King of the Hill, sorry. Strongholds. No strongholds. Okay, hold on. Let's just get that correct. No strongholds, which is great because we don't want to see strongholds with Spacestation Gaming. They're 5-0 on strongholds right now, and they're looking so good. The other bit of good news, and I will get this one actually correct, is Oddball is game number 1. We just saw what they managed to do to one of the best Oddball teams that we have here in the HCS. That was looking awfully strong. So GB continuing on that run from them, knowing what they just managed to do on Oddball. It's going to be on Streets. I know SSG are pretty good at Streets as well.
Yeah.
But they can definitely learn a thing or two from what they managed to do to OG. How are you feeling about this series layout?
Well, you know, I mean, think about this, right? Yeah, series layout's good, but if you are Shopify Rebellion, you gotta perform better in those Slayers. And if you're gonna go to Game 5 against an SSG team, they ain't dropping that Game 5. So if you are not up to snuff when it comes down to those Slayer games, this is going to be a quick series. That is the thing that I'm the most concerned about. But if you get this Oddball Streets win, that's a good tone setter for the series, and then you can build upon that.
Yeah, if I'm Shopify Rebellion, I realize there's no excuses here coming into Championship Sunday.
I agree.
This is an opportunity that you can beat the likes of a Spacestation Gaming. You have King of the Hill on Livefire and Capture the Flag on Forbidden as games number 3s and 4s. SSG have one of the widest pools as far as mapping game mode combinations. That's 2 of their only weaknesses that they have, and you have them back to back. If I'm Shopify Rebellion, I'm saying, look, some of these series layouts have not lent to us in the past. This one is their opportunity.
Yeah, and sometimes it's easier to shake off some of those earlier losses when they're a landslide. Sometimes you're kicking yourself over a 50-48, 50-49 victory. Sometimes you get staked, you say, that was a rough game. Let's just move on. Let's move on next one. So I don't feel like you're going to see Shopify hanging their heads too much and saying, we need to figure out our Slayers. Instead, they're just saying, you know what, Optic had a run right there, whatever, moving on to the next one.
I honestly couldn't agree more with you. I think, they did definitely have an incredible run there from Optic Gaming. Shopify Rebellion, also a fantastic Slayer team. I know they're coming into this 5-3 currently in SLC, but they're the second best Slayer team based on now the results from SLC in this HCS. They were number 1 for quite some time. They were looking so good. They're 22-9 in the season. Yeah, a few mistakes being made against some of the best that we have in the business here, but that's okay because fundamentally you're a good Slayer team, GB.
I don't disagree, and I know the Shopify Rebellion team's got the talent, they have the capability, but I look back at a painful Game 5, right? That you had the most they were able to get was 30 and then 26 or something like that, 26 and then 30.
Yep.
So it's like. Yes, I agree. Yes, they had Slayer stats in the past, but you're in the here and now, and the here and now is he got bopped 2 times on Slayer. So Shopify Rebellion are going to need to have to clean that up. Otherwise, this is going to be a fast game because you think that SSG is going to give them the time of day to be able to, get back into the game. No, they're going to see exactly what Optic did. I saw them in the back there, and they went through all the tape. They were looking at what these guys were doing, and I think they got the reads. I don't know. I think SSG have a really strong position here, regardless of what the stats say.
Couldn't agree with you more, and bopping people is what both sides are going to have to do if they want their lifeline to remain here in the tournament. It is time to go, folks. Spacestation Gaming versus Shopify Rebellion. Golden Boy and Walshy, it's your turn.
All righty, folks. One final time. Salt Lake City, Utah. Let's do this. Because we got ourselves a banger of a match on our hands. Shopify Rebellion proving that they can take those matches on Championship Sunday. But can they take the dubs? Can they take the wins? This is going to be that tone setter we were talking about, Walshy. Oddball Streets. This is a big one. If Rebellion come out swinging, then SSG might be in trouble.
What I gotta say though is if Shopify Rebellion can beat Optic on Oddball. I think they can definitely beat SSG on Oddball, but it's all going to come down to the slays here. They're going to be completely different play styles. You are going to have a couple faster players here in the form of Bound and Lqgend. They're just going to be moving around the map a little quicker than some of those players they're playing against on Optic.
Yep, that's right. Those are going to be some of those minor details that can come back and potentially bode well for SSG. As I said, I saw them just combing over all the film, what they were going over. Seemed to be, you know, as a squad, what you want in this situation, considering that they're right there on the precipice of being able to make it to a grand final. So they're putting in so much work off screen here to just make sure that they lock this down and Bound with a filthy double kill, and you're able to get yourself the camo to boot, as well as ball control. Great start for SSG.
Bound on a killing spree, and Bound with 16 points on the board, just doing all the work for his squad right now. Most kills in the game, most time in the game. I love that target switching he also had there too, by that gen. He knew someone was one shot in the distance, quickly flicks, hits that shot, and then clutches it up in the cafe.
This is also a pretty smart play here from Lqgend. He was waiting for the call on whether or not that push was going to be coming in from Arcade, but credit to Shopify Rebellion because they got right in their face, and the timings were definitely thrown off a little bit there, but it's okay for SSG. They do manage to recover, and Rebellion are going to be back at the drawing board here to see how they can crack this one. Now you end up opening up Cafe here. This is a little bit of an opportunity, but Bound's going to try and see if he can cover that one. And he's been doing a great job, as we had noted already. Great objective time. He's been putting in a lot of shots to boot, but they got to remove him from this fight here.
Looks like he tries to get a play ball there, but not effective. He's just going to stay alive a little bit longer at tower. Gets into a one-on-one, and with his stats so far, I would have put my money on Bound winning that straight up one-on-one.
Yeah, but he ended up having a teammate there who that was Mental, as a matter of fact, off that Killjoy. He ended up having a teammate there to back him up there. We'll see whether or not Mental can actually gain this lead. Suppressed with a big kill onto Eco, slowing down the momentum that Spacestation Gaming had earned earlier on here. But look at two players coming in through the cafe now. Great anticipation from Cykul. Can Cykul pick up the kill? He's successful in that endeavor. Now looking for another one. Lqgend on the flank there. Mental to back him up. Another 2 down. Make that 3 down for Spacestation Gaming. And now Shopify Rebellion continuing to add on here. They got to get that ball under control.
I love that coordination from Shopify. You had Suppressed and Mental, both one shot, and they both round the corner and fight that. They realize it's going to be less likely that that person can finish off both players at the exact same time. So rather than one person hiding behind and getting their shield back, they're both charging out.
And look at this here. Once again, that cafe has been a bit of a difficult one for Rebellion to try and maintain control of. But so far, so good. As Suppressed now, he's going to make his presence felt here in Neon Street. Nice battle won there by Lqgend. He's going to have to wait this one out. See if he's got any numbers and teammates to go for the push. Right now, he's going to be the most forward position member of his team. But that's good for him because he ends up finding one shot, another one back alley as well. Smart plays there. Cykul goes in for the challenge, but he's able to anticipate where Lqgend was going to be moving out of that one, thus shutting him down. We're back 2-2 squared.
Incredible defense by Shopify, because I was just about to say that Spacestation had the perfect push. They got pushed all the way up towards Cafe. They pushed all the way up towards Tires and Arcade. And they had the perfect crossfire, as you saw that initial pickoff by Lqgend. But somehow Shopify, even with their backs against the wall, just bought enough time for their players to flank on through and clear out Spacestation Gaming.
And also, too, I like that, Shopify making sure that they have utility to be able to stop some of these pushes here. They got nades when they need to. They are anticipating a few of these pushes. And you can even see right there, right, using these nades and preempting them to just give them that extra coverage, the extra oomph on those fights. And it has led to a lot of success for Rebellion, sitting at 40 and 43 currently.
Look at that, Mental clearing out the PD, making sure the side is clear. And ever since this ball has been over towards the tower, we have yet to really see Spacestation take control of this area from the first time they rotated here. Now, if you're a Spacestation coach or player in a situation like this, if you recognize that, you start to say, all right, next time they get control of the ball, maybe try to keep it over towards Tram and see if they have better success on that side of the map.
Eco looking for this one player, Cykul, who had that camo as well as the Stalker rifle. A couple one-shots over on the other side. SoulSnipe trying to support his teammate Suppressed. But this has been pretty solid thus far. And you know what? You guys had a great read on it when we were talking about it on the desk earlier, Dave. They're doing some damn good work to be able to get these points.
Doing a great push, but they gotta do it quick. Cykul just spawned over at Tram, ends up pushing towards ATMs to enter this fight. A little too late there from Cykul. But that's the sort of dance that Shopify have been doing with Spacestation. they're able to play defense on that PD/tower side. And if they have someone die, they just buy time and they get an immediate spawn flank.
Well, now that we got this tram set up, how does Spacestation fight through this here? Eco, going to be the tip of the spear in this situation. Lqgend gets taken off on the cross. That's going to, of course, put Eco in a little bit of a pressure-filled situation. Thankfully, he's got StelluR there to back him up. A couple shots being put forward here. That's going to be a trade. And StelluR saw a couple more members. Shopify a little weakened, but he's actually going to be taking some fire himself here. And he's got the call, trying to go in for the fight, using that repulsor to get up on high, but he did not have the timing. He did not catch him off guard, but it was a valiant attempt.
Tries to jump on in and fight those weak players, unsuccessful there. And now that we have ball and tram, let's see how this one plays out. Oh my gosh, that nade launching bound out. That's gonna be Eco going down. That's gonna be more time going in for Shopify Rebellion.
They're gonna need it to catch back up into this one. Still the first round of play here in the elimination final. Winner moves on. Both teams here having to taste the bitter taste of defeat, thanks to Optic Gaming.
Look at this suppressed, not just scrapping up every little second of time in the back, helping his team fight in the center of the map. They realize control is more important than just a few extra seconds. With that camo though, suppressed knows that nobody is charging just yet, and now he's just biding his time, deciding, does he rotate this, or is it gonna be another ball drop / slay?
Oh, and they know where he is too, so they're peppering those steps with nades as much as they can to try and remove him from it. He's got the call that Lqgend might be a little bit weak over in the corner. Good use of the camo yet again, but Suppressed is going to be dealing with a 1v2 in the back there, and he's going to lose that fight. That said, though, an opportunity now, but not going to happen as Eco and StelluR are able to get themselves 2 kills, and they'll continue this hold here, Dave.
Yeah, you almost have to question that kill from SoulSnipe. It's a really difficult spot to be in. You know somebody's so weak right next to you at caution, but during that time, players were able to move across that courtyard, across palms, to charge into Tram and get the kills and get the ball.
10 points left here for SSG as they're going to be inside of Tram, make that 11, but it's still going to be so close. That ball's still up for grabs now. Mental, weakened, up on top. He's got someone else there. StelluR cannot stay alive long enough, and that's going to be 2 players down for SSG. Opportunity now for Shopify Rebellion. Make that 3 as Bound's going to be removed from this. Is anyone for Shopify in the vicinity to be able to grab that ball? Cykul as well as Mental making their way in.
Cykul getting the clutch 2 kills. That may have secured it right here for Shopify as he got the 2 players closest to Tram, and now Spacestation have one last desperate push here to try to break through. They somehow spawned over at Cafe/Neon side, so they're close and they're getting through.
Brilliant use of nades there, but StelluR cannot win the battle against Cykul, and he's still alive here in the back. No one's been able to grab that ball yet, though. 30 seconds left on the clock. Time's going to be ticking. Tied game, 89-89 here. Cykul fights his way out of Neon. Lqgend's going to get control again. Cykul had to get out of there, but look at Bound. Look at Bound. He's over in the corner. He put shots down. The rotation. They throw that ball down toward the driveway. Massive fight there for Lqgend to win. He's looking for another one as well. That's a triple kill for Lqgend, and that could very well be the first round locked in for the hometown heroes.
Yeah, grabbing those last few seconds. Lqgend gonna punch round 1 in favor of SSG, and I gotta say, fairly fortunate spawns at the end for SSG.
Yeah.
If they had spawned over at back tower or at PD, that round would have been over.
Snipe
was doing
for sure.
such a good job getting the right slays, so I don't know exactly where the Shopify spawns were coming in at the end of that round, but wasn't going in their favor, I'll tell you that.
Not at all. Spacestation Gaming managed to strike first here. See here, good identification on this one player located inside of the arcade area there, but SoulSnipe fighting his way out of that one. Still though, we're going to see where these rotations and the setup start to come in. SSG looking to opt for that PD setup there in the back. Bound though knows that there's going to be some pressure coming in from the arcade side, and they're kind of sniffing this one out because they know that someone's going to be back there. They're just trying to find where he is. Bound makes himself known.
That's the difficulty of fighting Bound. One, you can't take anything for granted. You look around the tower, you say, he could be in this corner, he could be in this corner, and then the fact that Bound is so quick, he's already slipped on over to PD, so they spent a good 3 seconds just looking for Bound when he had already rotated away over into PD.
And I think, could be wrong here, but yep, okay. Shopify gets themselves another camo. They have been nabbing these power items so many times here and keeping them out of the hands of SSG. Definitely saw maybe what FaZe were doing earlier on when they had faced off against them and keeping those power items away from them, how effective that can be.
I love how Suppress has played this thus far. He's treated as if he doesn't even have camo. He's just laying down shots. He's not trying to be sneaky, get some sort of back smack or get some sort of perfect player kill. He's laid down shots on at least 3 different members, getting 2 kills there, and he found the last 2 over on B Street.
Well, good news for him. He had a teammate there to back him up. That's going to be 3 down for SSG. And Shopify.
I don't know about this play from Cykul here. He is blocking the spawns and back tram. This means spawns are either going to happen over at red, or spawns could get a little wonky here. This could be a great or a terrible play. We're going to have to see how these kills fall next.
Ooh, big battle won there for Cykul. And Bound as well to remove actually him from that tram area as we were talking about before, Dave.
You know, and I see Eco and all these members of Space Station there are able to break through on B Street and over towards PD. And I gotta say, I think part of that had to be with that push into tram.
Yeah, you end up losing that player in the equation, right? So
yeah, you're fighting full separate battles. You're fighting two separate battles over towards PD side and over towards tram side, instead of just having one whole half of the map and not letting Space Station just push together as a full unit.
Well, right now, though, at the very least for the scoreboard, Space Station, or rather Shopify, can breathe a quick sigh of relief, but it could be very short-lived here on Oddball Streets. Lqgend, big kill in the back there. Now you got Mental trying to push in. He's going to be in a 1v2 situation. Bound's going to make quick work of him. One more player, two more, as a matter of fact, pushing inside of the cafe. Great response from Rebellion to just stop Space Station, excuse me, so that they can start to build some momentum here.
Yeah, great plays there. And they're just desperately holding on this cafe side. They want to rotate this ball away. There are too many members of Space Station over towards this PD side. So SoulSnipe's goal is to eventually get this a little further away. Unfortunately, SoulSnipe falls. Cykul, the furthest one up here. He's just trying to buy time so that Mental and Suppress can push on up, and look at buying time, how he does. Great job by Cykul just buying that little extra bit for his teammates to push up, but it is to no avail.
Yeah.
All these members here from Shopify falling one after the other.
That was a valiant effort for sure. Now it'll be Rebellion's time to strike here. Let's see what the Rebellion can muster up. Of course, so SSG now starting to gain a little bit more here. So close to being able to tie this one up, and look at the way that they're prioritizing PD. They know Bound is going to be lingering about here, and he's been a nuisance at the side of Rebellion. And he continues to be a problem that they cannot seem to deal with, and he's just dancing around this map, getting the call-outs. Another kill for him. He gets a stick, but man, look at the damage that he was doing over toward Arcade, Dave.
Bound is absolutely dominating this game.
24 kills.
Most kills, least deaths, most time in the entire lobby.
Truly standout performance here. Bound came onto the scene, you know, quite with a lot of hype, and he has certainly lived up to it without a doubt. He's proven time and time again he not only just belongs on that stage, but he thrives on that stage. So does this young man, Lqgend, but SoulSnipe is trying to make a name for himself here too, is able to get that kill, make that a double kill for Snipe himself.
And look at this, every single time these members Shopify get to one shot, you see them peeking back and forth. They want to get as much information as they can, and they're going to force that player from Space Station to either perfectly hit that headshot, or they now know where that player's at, and they can evade to a new location.
Small
they aren't
details.
just sitting blind around a corner.
Double kill there for Suppressed. He's actually been playing pretty damn well. We were praising Bound earlier, but Suppressed also has been popping off. Playing some big games here. The pressure's on, without a doubt. Mental working with his teammate in collaboration to remove Eco from the equation. Ball's going to be played again. You got Lqgend over toward that tires and Bound toward Cafe. They're anticipating this push. One toward Batledge is actually going to give the indication, hey, they're going to try and make this push happen here. So instead, they're going to get back together, try and work this one out.
And what Mental does in that situation, since he gave his position away over on B Street, he knows that Space Station are going to focus there. Instead, he repositions on over towards Neon, and they overload this side. But they aren't getting the damage of the numbers that they need. In fact, StelluR has a flank of his own.
Yeah, and that worked out beautifully. 4 down to Rebellion as Space Station Gaming now get possession of the ball again, and they're across the 50-point threshold.
Space Station bringing this one back towards Tower. Last time when they brought it towards Tower, you saw that Shopify were able to get some kills, able to get some sort of setup. Can Shopify break through again here in this position? That's going to be Lqgend and StelluR falling. The 4v2 charge is coming. What can Bound and Eco do? Feels like not much. Eco's the last one standing, just trying to desperately stay alive over in tires. He gets the kill and the escape.
But he does live. That's the most important thing out of that one, Dave. New camo's going to be coming up here. And he's alive, and look at that. They didn't take him out of tires, and that's come back to bite them in the butt here. That Stalker Rifle's been a problem for them.
Just those small victories lead to later plays. Great play by Eco, like I said. Just
good recovery,
buying time,
though.
staying alive, and re-entering the fight. That's going to be 3 down for Space Station for a short bit. StelluR and Eco. What do they do?
Yeah, that was, you know, credit to Eco for trying to make that play happen, but Also, a bigger credit for Rebellion for stabilizing in that situation, still holding control of the ball as well as backfield.
Look at that very successful push there from Spacestation. That's exactly what Shopify were trying to replicate before when they overloaded 3 people over to the cafe side. Instead, unable to get that initial pick, and there are too many members of Shopify down, and you know Spacestation are gonna play time. I wouldn't be surprised to see them grab this ball and just reset it to be safe, but I didn't get a sense of exactly when that ball dropped.
Yeah, well, 8 seconds remaining. Only a few points here separates them, but it ain't gonna matter because time is gonna be a ticking. No one in the vicinity for Rebellion to be able to pick it up, and SSG pick up map 1.
So well played there. But I mean, you gotta kind of expect that when you see a performance like that out of bound, when somebody's going most kills, most objective, least death, you expect an absolute stomping or victory.
Yeah, you really do, and Bound was certainly the X factor in that game. Let's not forget, though, Suppress had one hell of an oddball streaks, 27 kills and 14 assists for him there. But at the end of the day, it's SSG being able to really just play the map to their advantage, play that time to their advantage as well. They knew that the onus was going to be on Rebellion to have to make those pushes, and when you're making those pushes, sometimes you make some mistakes, and hey, Space Station Gaming are perfectly fine taking advantage of that.
Yeah, they did such a great job, and so many times you'd have a member or two of Space Station just alive after that push, and like I said, that one from Eco just turned that from a full setup for Shopify into a neutral scenario where they got a couple picks, and all of a sudden it's more of a scramble rather than a full setup.
And what was quite impressive in that first round was Rebellion's power item control, but you can see SSG certainly correcting that. Oh, that was what led to that big win over in Tires that gave him that double kill. That was actually pretty cool. Massive stick there from Eco, but yeah, what a playmaker he has continued to be for SSG. But they'll lock up that first map win, and now we look forward to map 2, StelluR on recharge. And yet again, we were talking about it on the desk, Dave. This was
You're saying they need to win those Slayers, and historically, Shopify have been fine on the Slayers.
But what's happening today?
What happened earlier today? You know, it's just unlucky, unfortunate. That's what I'd be telling them.
That's
like,
what you want to say?
Those ones. Like, it happens.
Yeah,
whatever.
It happens to the best of us.
There's no point in reevaluating a stake scenario from 30 or 45 minutes,
I
especially a new
don't
map.
disagree. Yeah,
in this case, they're just going to start fresh. They're going to say, all right, recharge. What are the small things we're focusing on? What are we going to do in the neutral scenarios? And are we going to try press our advantages even further?
This is when you have to lean on your fundamentals here. If you're Rebellion, you're going to shake off everything that happened in those Optic Slayer games. You got to look forward here, because if you don't, you'll be down 2-0 in the series. Home territory for SSG. Momentum on their side. Going into a live fire King of the Hill game would be even more difficult for Rebellion to have to fight out of. This is a pivotal game 2 for the Rebellion. Let's see if they can pull this one off.
Look at that. Mental just swapping over those plasmas right away. Throwing a couple out there, trying to fight now over at bottom control. But look at this. Eco not letting him breathe whatsoever. I believe that's a trade over at Camel. Not certain if it was burned or just kills traded out there.
Yeah,
but based on Mental moving away from here, I assume that's burned.
Yeah, there had to have been a call somewhere like, we got this one burned, don't go ahead for the push now. Reposition here. You got 2 members of Space Station Gaming over toward control. The other 2 are going to be more toward the yellow side of the map here. And StelluR actually trading shots across, and Lqgend is able to respond there. Man, where did that shot even come from?
Where's that angle? I was just going to say, he had to be like bottom elevator and Needler.
Yeah.
I don't think you could even hit that from bottom control, but StelluR fearlessly jumping back in towards top gold.
Now with StelluR in possession of the shock rifle, this man's been able to work wonders with this weapon, but you can see how Rebellion putting that respect on him. They're really focusing on when those opportunities for him to poke out. And Cykul's got his sights trained on this bat ledge here, so he's not trying to let him get away with it. No one from Rebellion is.
Well, there's a couple different ways you can play against a sniper. On one hand, you can either just hide away and not give any sort of angles, any shots.
Yeah.
You can do that for a temporary period of time. The other hand, you need to focus that. Anytime that player's poking out, you need to damage them. You can't just be all in a hiding ground. It looks like Shopify are opting to lay down shots on StelluR, challenging him, and not just trying to figure out a time where they're just only moving one at a piece, or one at a time across the map. Those are the times where it gets dangerous because you don't know when you're supposed to poke out with your teammates if you're in the hiding phase.
Yeah, and then, you know, as we were mentioning before, when StelluR gets his hands on that shock rifle, it's very, very difficult for him not to, you know, have at least a little bit of an impact, even if it's an intangible one, though. Big battle one, though, for, I believe that was going to be Mental. Takes out StelluR. It's going to be 3 down here, and the camo's going to be coming up. So a great time here for Rebellion to be able to get this.
Also, can we call out the fact that StelluR dropped that shock rifle with ammo in it? I'm not sure if he was passing it to his teammate or to try to throw off the timing on the new shock rifle just a significant amount. So he could have just said, hey, all right, there's only 1 shot left in this. I'm going to toss this down, let it despawn, and then new respawn. Or he's just saying, I'm not having the hits that I need right now. Someone else take it.
Yeah, yeah. And either of those circumstances are acceptable, right? Especially if StelluR identifies like, hey, I'm not really hitting with this one. Yeah, they're respecting me, but I ain't getting the shots I need. And SSG, they had a decent lead, but Rebellion managed to chip away at it. Down within 2. Down, wow, what a shot from him. He tracked that one gorgeously over toward the bats. Mental behind and bound. He's actually got a teammate here to work with him on this one. So does Mental now. We're gonna go into a little 2v2 fight. See how they come out on top with Lqgend actually on the flank. He might be able to get both of them out of this one. They're unaware completely, and Lqgend gets a double kill. That's 3 down for the Rebellion.
Somehow works out. I was just going to say, if that was a 2-on-1, Lqgend's making the correct play because he's cutting off where that player's going to run away from.
Yeah.
But in a 2-on-2, you want to match firepower with firepower. So Lqgend almost left his teammate out in a 2v1, and if those players had more awareness, they would have turned and burned Lqgend.
It's a tied game, though. Rebellion managed to bring this one back. SoulSnipe able to pick up that kill. Now we're going to be on board here with Lqgend. That was the one that decided whether or not this was going to be a tied game. So a massive win there for the Rebellion, who are looking to keep this one as close as possible. Now, Spacestation trying to really figure out where these openings are going to come from, identify where players are going to be located, and then make this push happen together, more than likely. But I do like the way that Rebellion are actually trying to just take space away from the map and limit Spacestation's movement opportunities here.
And let's see, there's going to be some action starting in the next 5 to 10 seconds as this camo's popping. We're going to have to see whether a Shroud comes down or whether someone got a grapple. But you know there's going to be plenty of grenades and utility grab from both these sides. Great shots through the floor grate there. That was nuts.
Through the steps.
Yeah.
2 players actually across now. Eco, oh boy, in a rough one now. Yeah, nowhere to go out of that one. Still got to fight for this camouflage. Suppressed is going to be able to pick this one up. There goes SoulSnipe now. They're going to be on the hunt for this player. Where is he located now? There was a nade that popped off on him, and then Bound is going to go right into his hands and find him and shut down that camo player. Shock rifle, though, over toward Lqgend. Yet again, you got SSG with control of the snipe.
Well, based on how Mental is shooting there, it felt like maybe he got the first half of that shock rifle. So we did get shock rifle in Shopify's hands for a moment, but overall, shock rifle's been in Spacestation's hands longer, and they only have a 2-kill lead. This could be more disastrous if Shopify can get control of that shock rifle and have the game slow down in their favor.
And I'm keeping my eyes trained on Cykul here. He was actually going to be a problem, and that turns to come out to fruition as Cykul goes in for that push. And this is a double kill for Suppressed, but still the kills are being exchanged in each side. And you got a 3-kill lead now for Spacestation Gaming. So when you think that Rebellion were going to have an opportunity, get back into the game in this Slayer, instead, it's SSG who digs deep, and they're able to secure some big kills.
Look at that. Every time they get a member or 2 down from Shopify, you just see them scanning the map, seeing where these players are going to be running away and going to. And all of a sudden, they have them perfectly in a spawn trap over at Pipes. Eco actually pushing there, even though he's 1 shot. That can be sometimes dangerous. The fact that the player's still at a death screen there over in Pipes, and he's 1 shot.
Yeah, but he's still going to be here toward the yellow side. You can see where 2 of those players by long haul, 1 in control, another one bottom pit. And they're seeing what they can do to get this camo. It's going to be coming up in a few seconds here. Suppressed. He's got a target on him, but there's no utility for Eco to be able to take advantage of in that situation. Now you're going to see Spacestation just try and work around this. See where they can find those openings. Camo's going to be popping up. SSG does not want to let Rebellion run away with this one. Anytime that they get those power items in their hands, it's going to be a problem for them. And look at the way that they're completely pinned. I mean, the protocol's there to just slow it down and then find those shots together. That was so intelligently done, Dave.
Yeah, Shopify also attacked on multiple fronts there. The moment that camo's coming up, SoulSnipe goes up from long haul towards top glass. In case that person from glass is looking towards camo, he now has the lead and advantage in that fight. And at the same time, they're grabbing camo. So either one, they have the angle from glass, or they have the flank on glass, so they get the kill, or they're getting the camo. Works out either way.
Either way, success. But you want to see that success translate to score. A trade's not going to really be the thing that you want in that instance there. And Mental's Gonna get absolutely owned with that perfect. So now you cross that 40-point threshold. 8 kills remaining here for SSG to be able to win this. And look at where everyone is pinned down. How does Rebellion fight out of this?
That is tough. They had the elevator locked down, so now they know they're all spawned in that location. Able to get that first pick onto Bound. And I like this play. Rather than just charging across Bound's death screen, they all decide to go towards Hydro and send Suppressed over towards top gold. So they have multiple angles across the map. Suppressed eventually taken out. But look at that, a 3v2-1 against Eco and StelluR over at Hydro. Now it's only a 3-kill game here for Shopify.
Yeah, an opportunity for the Rebellion. But Bound's gonna try and shut this one down. No one's going into the room quite yet to go in for the challenge. 2 players toward the elevator side. Bound's got the eyes on him, so he's gonna make that call out, drop back to his squad, and just lean on his shock rifle ability here to pick off anyone that wants to go in for a peek.
Get this, Bound the furthest one up. He knows that he can try to go for a long-range shot towards bomb elevator, but he has to always worry about right next to him, over at Triangle, over at Needler. Tries to get insta there. Bound takes a little bit of damage, but not enough to push in.
Does shoot off 2 of those shock rifle rounds. And he wants to go, I think he might want to go after that grapple shot there, potentially get some movement, but I don't think it's really going to matter all that much. 4 frags remaining here. A camo grab yet again, but despite them getting these power items, it has not led to success for Rebellion. That's going to be number 48. You got an 8-kill lead here. You can't make any mistakes if you're Shopify Rebellion. You got 2 players right for the picking over here toward the elevators. Make that 3 players that are going to be weakened. That's a back whack from behind. Is StelluR going to move in for the final kill? It's actually Lqgend. And if he didn't get it, StelluR was going to find it. And that's
Spacestation.
SSG up 2-0.
Just absolutely crushing when they get Shopify Rebellion just stuck in one part of the map. They do such a good job. They don't force the push. Instead, they just slowly constrict them in that spot, whether they're stuck over in Long Haul or Hydro or Elevator. They just cut off every single route. And if someone tries to sprint out, they take that first free kill and collapse on the rest.
Yeah, it's really cool how they can go, they have like different go buttons, right? Like it depends on if maybe they see a situation where like, okay, we can probably play a little bit more methodical here. We know exactly where they are. Let's try and see if we get some damage and then push in for a pick. Or you play the full aggressive collapsing game on them, utilize those nades, chuck everything you have at them. Either instance has been good for Spacestation Gaming. And now that they're up 2-0 here, Rebellion, their backs against the wall. This was, we talked about map 1 being pivotal for Rebellion. They didn't pick that win up. It was looking good, but they didn't pick up the win. We wanted to see them improve on the StelluR. They did, based on what happened in that Optic game, but it was just a beautiful game of control from Spacestation Gaming. Now, we're going to Live Fire King of the Hill. This is a fast one, man, and Bound's feeling himself. Lqgend's feeling himself. You got to have some of those Rebellion players wake up in that server.
Yeah, they got to start popping off. And like you said, or as we were talking before this game kicked off, Tony said, Live Fire King of the Hill. This is a great game here for Shopify Rebellion. 3-1 record compared to Spacestation's losing 3-4 record on this map.
So if there is a chance for Rebellion to pull this one off, start a reverse sweep, obviously it has to be here now, but statistically speaking, this is a good position for them to be in here. But you're still talking about SSG. This is a juggernaut squad that has caused a lot of problems for teams in the circuit. So I do think that no matter what happens, it's going to be an epic clash without a doubt.
Yeah. And also, let's look at those stats. You saw their average caps on this is 3.5, meaning that almost every single time they're winning, or actually every single time they're winning, they're getting all 4 caps. And their 1 loss, I believe they would have only got 2 caps based on those stats.
Wow. Good math there, buddy.
Thank you.
You know, I wish I knew math. It's just, thank goodness for Prowler, right? I can actually see what I need to see. But yeah, that actually does bode well for them. And that says that they play an aggressive game and they try and get out there real fast and pick up those first few King of the Hill spots as quickly as they possibly can if they're averaging that much.
Yeah, and they're going just for it every single time. You notice that when maybe that's the strength of teams that they've been playing thus far.
Yeah.
If you consider it, they set themselves up in a fantastic side of the bracket by winning their pool, taking out Pure, and making it all the way to the winners finals.
What a run that they've had.
But also, these teams that came out from the other side of the bracket have been forged by fire. What a nightmare side of that bracket.
Ah, man. And the fact that Spacestation goes down there early in the tournament They cannot make any mistakes.
They were a couple kills away from being 9 through 12 of this event. All of a sudden, they're about to find themselves in top 2 if they can close up this game.
Because they almost lost to C9.
They almost lost to C9. It was like a 50-48 Game 5 live fire Slayer. So Space Station just ice in their veins as they've worked their way back series by series to make it all the way here to the elimination finals, and they're just dominating so far.
Yeah, that shows a lot of grit from SSG. There you can see another legend, Coach Bestman, who's going to be leading this squad in the coaching role. It's really cool, though, to see, you know, how Halo has evolved over the years, you know?
Yeah,
you got Coach
generations, and that's what you kind of look at, like, from other sports as well. You start to be, you know, top past players be coaches, and we're seeing that now in gaming, and it's crazy to think competitive Halo's been around for 20 plus years, so you're going to start to see a whole new generation of Gen 1 players who are now top coaches.
Yeah, now I feel old. That sucks. No, man, honestly, that is what makes Halo so special of an esport. It has lasted for so long. It will continue onward. I mean, it's Microsoft's flagship title after all. But more importantly than that, it's got one hell of a community that's rolled out here in SLC to support not just their teams, but to support the esport as a whole. Want to give, again, a massive shout out to Sean Durst and the SSG team for brilliant event. Probably one of my favorite Halo events that I've ever been to. And I've been to a lot of them. You've been to even more. So
too many, some would say.
Too many. All right, I think we have maybe some players on a bio break or something like that. So we'll get cracking on this one in a moment's notice. But this is certainly going to be a tough battle here. And let's also talk about what's at stake now. All these teams have qualified, but this is an opportunity to really set the pace for your squad moving into the biggest Halo event of the year, the Halo World Championship. Make sure you join us October 4th through the 6th, Seattle, Washington, at the Seattle Convention Center. It's an awesome time. They got panels. They have games. I'm still trying to convince 343 to bust out Fire Team Raven cabinets over there so that your boy can get his high score up. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you're there with us. It's going to be a good time. Seattle's got some good food. So, you know, and look at me. I love me some food. You sabe? But
I love it up in Seattle. I love it up there.
Yeah, you lived up there for like, what, 80 years? Something like that. I feel like you were there for a minute.
It did feel like about that.
Yeah,
but
it really did.
I haven't seen the sun in, 3 years?
Oh, man. And then you moved to LA? Yeah, you're a madman. You're a madman. All right. Players, again, set up in the lobby. You could see them. And you could really feel the tension for SSG here. Well, rather, even for Rebellion, more so. Because they're sitting at that 2-0 deficit. And at this point in time, what you have to do is something that very few teams can make the claim to do. Reverse sweep Space Station Gaming. And you have to do it in front of this partisan crowd here in Salt Lake City, their hometown. But Mental, I've been covering this guy's career for a very long time, from Gears of War up until Halo. This guy has shown grit in those moments. So if he is able to lead this team to a Game 3 victory here, that's when you start the process. That's when you start the building blocks. But is it going to end here and now? Is SSG going to move forward for the salty run back against Optic Gaming in the grand finals? Or will Rebellion find an opportunity and seize it?
Expect Rebellion to go straight for this hill.
Here we go.
They've been capping 4 in the past, and here goes Mental straight towards the pillars, trying to deny Lqgend from going over from the nest boxes over the hill, and there it is, SoulSnipe instantly in this hill, racking up time.
And this is what you'd had come to expect from them, but wait a minute, just as we say that, it's going to be SSG all up in their business now. They managed to get that control of the sniper as well as control of the hill, and they have a great position, but look out for that camouflage. It's going to be popping up in a moment.
Yeah, they're worried about nest side here. They're going to try to give some help over towards camo side, and I feel like Space Station are in the much better position right now. Even though Shopify got that camo, we've seen how effective camos have been so far.
Yeah.
Actually, they haven't even grabbed it yet.
Really?
Still up on the map. I believe it's going to be Cykul now grabbing it. But look at this trap set up by Eco, just trying to commit to one angle and seeing where this camo player comes from.
All right, well, they did finally manage to get this, as you had noted. But watch out for Eco. Now Cykul wants to try and cause a problem here. All right, so that's going to be one player identified, and they know that the camo is going to be hanging out over here.
Keep in mind, walking over that screen, this could be giving it away. And it seems like Eco does not know camo players coming over from behind. Eco somehow escapes all the way towards pillar door, and those ones are where you hold your breath. Where that sniper's not shooting instantly, and you know that they're trying to line up that headshot, and so Cykul right there is just trying to shoot ever so slightly and avoid that.
Yeah, trying to train that shot in a steady manner, kind of like that you just saw there against the guy he just yoinked the sniper from. Now Cykul looking to go there for a triple kill, but he's only going to get a double for his efforts.
I also just love that movement. Even though Cykul got picked off there, you saw he continued to move back towards back green and cut off that angle where Lqgend was going to get the finish on him.
Yeah, this spawn has been quite favorable for Spacestation Gaming. They got back into the hill now, more control. Two players are going to be hanging out here. Lqgend getting peppered by a nade, but that's when his teammate's going to come up clutch for him. Two players down now. You see that carcass just flying across the screen, and SSG are going to be able to get that first hill.
An interesting spot there. You feel like somebody wouldn't commit just to staying towards bottom green, especially when they have full shield. They almost want to get vision on when and where nades might be coming from. But must have just trusted his teammates across the map that they're going to do more damage than those nades flying in.
Now we got a new setup here over toward the tower side. Camo's coming up in a moment here too, as well as the QT. Two members of SSG are looking over there, and then you have three members of Rebellion pushing forward, but Bound was able to grab that one so fast, and he gets right behind him. He's trying to find where that other player is. There you go, found your target. That's a double kill. Maybe he finds himself another one here. He's got so many kills to go after here. Bountiful, plentiful riches, but he is able to get 3 kills out of that one.
And I love that play by Bound in his target selection. When you are on a flank and you have a choice between the person that's absolutely closest to you and someone who's a little further away, I always prefer to go for that player who's further away because you still have that element of surprise on that player that's close to you. Yes, unless of course you have something like a backsnack, but right there, he knew that he could get that finish and then go into a 1v1 where he's that slight advantage of surprise.
And that did lead to a little bit of progress, but Cykul cannot do much with that snipe. Not sure if it got played. If it's off the back steps, Suppress might have grabbed it. Yeah, he did. And Suppress definitely grabbed it, so he used that one to good effect. And this is now Rebellion's time. Remember, Rebellion, a team that's, really, when they win in this game mode, they win hard. So what you're really looking forward here is to see Rebellion just get up in that business as fast as they possibly can. But Spacestation Gaming is making it so challenging for them here.
Yeah, SoulSnipe knows somebody's nearby. Doesn't know exactly where, though, so he's just been trying to hold down tower and hope that teammates can get the control over here. There, they finally clear out this player at Mud, but so much time has passed through.
Yeah, and that's allowed.
Spacestation could just charge across top.
Yeah, that allowed him to be able to charge because with that one player going Mud and then that guy needing to go down to support his teammate, that pulls all those eyes and that attention away from that middle area. That's given these guys an opportunity in SSG to push forward. But in a similar situation, what was going on with Rebellion? Whew, oh man, I thought he hit that. In a similar situation, what was going on with Rebellion here, we haven't really been able to get control that much of this hill. It's been a hotly contested one without a doubt here, Dave.
Yeah, the last couple times where Space Station's been able to break the setup, they've been pushing from silo and top center. Here comes the nest push. Let's see if this is successful. In fact, they do get the first pick on a mental. Bound's already over, and you just don't have anyone else. There's Cykul and SoulSnipe out of the fight.
Lqgend's waiting this one out. Got to make this jump here and work with Eco. Here he goes. Pushes right forward. And a good QT right back over to safety.
Go pour back. No. Doesn't decide to pop at the end. Knows that there are too many of his teammates that are dead. Instead, he's going to just try to run over towards top tower. Mental challenging it and winning that.
We're now at the 2-minute warning here in King of the Hill. And again, to reflect back on the stats previously to the series, we were really commending Rebellion for, high point games and really putting control on the map and just basically securing it just by finishing it. But on the other side, SSG, they play a much slower game. They burn that clock down. And we are getting to a dangerous territory here where these next few hills are going to be quite hotly contested because of the fact that they don't have a lot of time to work with.
And right here,
best as she get this, it could be done.
Bound can do. If SSG are able to get this second hill, I bet they're just going to slay out through the rest of this game. In fact, you almost feel like they've already started that.
Yeah, that's why, I've been noticing this time has just been draining little by little by little. They'll get in there when they need to, but they're perfectly fine just taking these fights around and then going into the hill when they absolutely need to.
I see StelluR actually all the way over at Garage. I don't feel like they're setting up this early for the next hill because they know that this one is still attainable. In fact, they can still potentially win right off of here by holding them out if they'd like, but still surprising that we're not seeing Spacestation just step inside the hill while they're fighting here. Feels like they do want to drain the clock.
Yeah, I do agree with that, and perhaps this game plan could work out or it could bite them in the butt. But with StelluR getting back in now, he's also got a teammate with the sniper inside. He got 2 players that are going to be making the push over toward that green side of the map, Camo. So look out for that, though, and watch out for the players on the other side, too. Here comes the pressure, and good QT to get out of there. He doesn't have the angle for the snipe quite yet, but his teammate was there to help him out, and he backed him up to the wall. More than enough here for Lqgend to be able to secure that kill. Another body shot. That guy can't get involved in the fight at all. Watch out for Suppressed here. Trying to get involved in the situation, but it is not working out in his favor. 44 seconds left here, Dave, and if they cap this, it could be very well curtains for Rebellion.
Yeah, and you see Spacestation still kind of toying with us a little bit. I feel like this can be a little dangerous, and there they go.
The cap.
Finish that one off, and now we got the hill over in the Garage. Shopify already set up over there, but Spacestation have a 4-on-2.
Lqgend looking to come around the corner and dominate the competition if he gets an opening to do so, but he's going to get stopped in his place. Rebellion have no time. They have to get into this hill. At this point in time here, you're down 2-0. You have 30 seconds left on the clock. Yes, time stops when you get into that hill, but you don't have a lot of wiggle room. And each and every time you step out of that, that's going to be a second drain from the clock.
Such big kills there by Bound. Bound was the last one alive. He kills the hill carrier. He finds somebody flanked out near Nest, and then he's back in the action near
20
hill,
seconds.
draining more time.
20 seconds
Any
now.
hope that Shopify had right there was squashed out by Bound. Suppressed, desperately trying to push over towards the scoreboard. He's also taken out. Make that Cykul up for a killing spree.
He's letting him
bodies
know.
are being shot.
He's letting him know. He's telling him who's boss. 4 seconds remaining, and we're going back to the run back, the salty run back. We got SSG versus Optic Gaming in your grand finals. Rebellion tried and tried, but it was SSG's game from the beginning. Full control. They got that first hill, and then from there, they absolutely slayed out. A 60-49 outslay on that one. SSG were all over them like white on rice. So impressive.
Pure domination there. I mean, also, Bound. Can we talk about the series that he had?
Unreal,
Game
man.
1,
26.
Game 3. Game 1, I believe he dropped 31 kills, 17 deaths. Game 3 right there, a 26-12.
That was absurd, man. Absolutely absurd. Ladies and gentlemen, Spacestation Gaming are going to the grand finals. And what a way to do it. From coming out of that lower bracket, being sent there by Optic Gaming, fighting, clawing their way, going up against the best in the world in Halo, each and every round. That, they say legends are made in the lower bracket. I mean, I guess it helps when you have a teammate named Lqgend as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they just somehow took that series by series. I mean, it's crazy to think that right now we're seeing a team here that could very well get a bracket reset and win this tournament. But instead, this is a roster that also could have got knocked out 9-12. That still just blows my mind. We're going to have 2 different mentalities. We could have 2 different mentalities coming out from Spacestation here after this event. It could have been like they went to the drawing board and saying everything's wrong. Look at how we lose these teams. Or we could have a Spacestation that's just celebrating tonight, cheering and saying, we're the greatest. Let's go.
All right. Well, we got Lottie and Tony back with us here. And wow, I mean, SSG, we had a feeling that this could very well be a 3-0 because of how well SSG are playing. But I got to say, the way that they executed on that live fire, guys, that was a thing of beauty. I loved every minute of that.
Yeah, Tony, what did you make of it? Go on, you kick us off.
I mean, to be honest with you, man, Lqgend and Bound, the roommates, the Bound combination is freaking deadly, man. The amount of kills and damage that Bound was able to stack up in the KD department than Lqgend with his damage output versus damage received, that damage differential for Lqgend is absolutely incredible. And the combination of those two on the map just creates so many openings for the rest of the team, man. Bound and Lqgend are going to be a duo for a very long time.
Yeah, you talk about famous duos, and that is definitely one, if not already cemented. I was going to say forming, but to be perfectly honest, it's cemented right now. I mean, you look at the Unlocked episode, GB, and not only are they just vibing off the sticks, but on the sticks right now, it is absolute magic. And that's exactly what you want, especially with your back against the wall at your own home series. You know, this is really tough for them. They're not used to being in this position. They want to be on the winner's side of things. They don't want to have to do a grueling 2 best-of-7s. But we've only seen one team manage to actually do that when it mattered most, and that was at Worlds, that was FaZe. Does Space Station have that type of ice, do you think, GB?
Yeah, for sure. If this series got dragged out to 5, then you can start talking about fatigue, especially if you go for that bracket reset. But I don't know, man. They seem to be just on another level right now. And if they can continue this, Optic better watch out. The SSG they are hitting, and if Bound plays the way that he played in this series, in the grand finals, it's going to be really difficult for Optic to stop them. That being said, though, Optic have more than the capability to do so.
They certainly do indeed. We're going to take a look at the series layout in a second just to show you the results that came across from that series. And as you can see, it's just a clean astronaut across the board because Space Station Gaming, well, they were just unbelievable. And the stars really are the limit for them. Very, very clean. Shopify Rebellion had absolutely no answer for what SSG were dealing with. I think right now coming into question more so than fatigue is momentum. And I think that's something that Optic need to be a little bit worried about. And GB, you kind of alluded to that. But the momentum on the side of Space Station Gaming right now is something that is going to be hard to stop. I think snowballing in this fashion in an elimination finals, you just don't see 3-0s in an elim final because those two teams are there for a reason, especially Shopify dropping down from the winner's side. Usually you are seeing an absolute brawl. Walshy, Space Station Gaming, this momentum, they're quite a momentum-based team too. Do you see them taking this first series off Optic?